think the fund managers are dealing with a lot of issues nowadays. They need to think about the regulatory aspects. They need to think about the investment, business development, marketing aspects. Also now it's the new trend of the investors looking for alternative investment funds to invest in, and also the sustainable investments as well. So all in all, they need to follow all these regulations, which of course are coming from abroad. So a fund manager is important, very important to have an international global network of people and service providers that they work with in order to enable them to be on top of the game. So a fund administration company being internationally, also the banking as well, it's very important for a fund manager to keep up to date and to enable them to the cross-border policies and follow up all these new regulations that are coming, but also going after international investors and trying to expand their fund management proposition.
The biggest challenges facing the market today, particularly for capital markets, are the pending recession, or some countries have actually entered a recession over the past few months, but also the threat of increased interest rates. And nobody knows where those interest rates will stop, and central banks are trying to control that. Inevitably, that means that the businesses may not perform, and they may actually default. And that's the biggest threat that we see for capital markets going forward into the future, into the not just the short term, but the medium term.
Many challenges are in this area. I would say that even though the capital markets grow, challenges do remain and some emerge. For example, as a result of the new technologies that are being developed, as well as new products that are being produced, the regulators have the challenge to face the situation and be prepared with the right technology to be able to review, monitor, and apply the correct framework. So the challenge here is that the regulators need to be ready to approach these new technologies that are coming in. So if they do not have the right technology, then they need the expertise and the strong human capital to be able to handle this area effectively. There are ways to do this, and each country, like Cyprus or any other country, and the various regulators in place, be it central bank or the regulators, the Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission, they need to be prepared and they should not fall behind in order for compliance and regulation to be updated at all times.
Nowadays, the capital markets are facing some emerging issues regarding and stemming basically from the growth in the economy, which was accompanied by rapid growth of financial services firms without banking licenses, or that take deposits, like insurers, investment funds, and exchanges. The regulator should prioritize in 4 main categories. The first one is broadening the liquidity management tools available to fund managers. Secondly, to strengthen the financial safety nets and the crisis management arrangements. Thirdly, to strengthen early warning systems available through basically enhanced stress testing. And lastly, to focus on cyber resilience, fintech, and climate control, for them to minimize any adverse effects that they may cause in the future in the capital markets. We have now governments and central banks trying to combat issues in the capital markets, like the global debt sustainability. All in all, capital markets are faced with unprecedented challenges, both globally and domestically, and fighting their way out is a puzzle that needs to be solved, and for the engine to work again efficiently.
Είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό, πιστεύω, να μπορούν οι εταιρείες τεχνολογίας να παρέχουν ψηφιακές υπηρεσίες για το χρηματοοικονομικό χώρο, ειδικά στον χώρο του fund industry που είμαστε και εμείς σαν εταιρεία πληροφορικής, που παρέχουμε λύσεις για τον τελικό επενδυτή και μεριδίουχο να μπορεί να βλέπει γρήγορα το χαρτοφυλάκιό του, τις κινήσεις του, το ιστορικό των επενδύσεών του και να μπορεί να παίρνει γρήγορα όλη την πληροφορία που θέλει.
There are many advantages of digitalization in the capital industry. We are seeing the need to have a customized experience for clients to a level we've never seen before. This means we have to scale our businesses differently. We have to think about how we can incorporate technology in portfolios differently and better access and serve the client in a community where they can engage around their investments. We're excited to talk about this subject here today.